That's the best question. It's the most logical question. I don't know that I have a great answer. I will start my answer by saying that this is too late. It's too late for probably most people. And that's my fault. I view this situation as one big lie.
Lance Armstrong responding to the question there of why come forward now, which a lot of people have asked. He may have gone to Oprah to try and seek forgiveness. The question everybody's wondering is, did it work? Following the scandal and the continuous lies, what kind of effect is this going to have on his legacy? Joining me to discuss this, Ries of Ries. She's a branding expert. And I know some people are saying, Laura, that he didn't seem contrite, you know, that this may not have actually helped his image at all. You watched it. What was your immediate takeaway?
Well, I thought we saw the real Lance, and it wasn't very likable for most people. I mean, we all believed in the myth and the legend, and right there we saw a real man who has some serious flaws.
What was the biggest, do you think?
Well, the biggest flaw, listen, a doper, a cheater, I think those can be forgivable and overcomable, but his most serious flaw is the vicious attacks. He went after people who told the truth. I mean, going and suing them and ruining their lives and their careers. That kind of action just, you know, that seems psychopathic.
Was the interview the right way to go? I mean, he could have had a press conference like, you know, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He could have released a statement, but was the interview the right way to go, do you think?
Absolutely. The interview was the right way to go. It should have been done a year ago. That's his biggest problem. And he did say this is going to be a little late for a lot of people. It's definitely a lot late for everybody, I think.
Yeah, I know people, I think you're right. They're willing to forgive somebody. I mean, look at Michael Vick.
Of course. That is a great case. We are much, much willing to forgive when his actions also follow his words.
I was going to say Michael Vick served time.
He did.
Is there anything Lance can do to remedy this for himself, do you think?
Well, you know, besides turning the clock back and coming clean a lot quicker, I do think this is a first step, but his actions are going to be what really makes his future. And I think actions, and what I didn't hear last night is, isn't he concerned about the youth of the world in sports and whether they choose to do doping like Lance did and perhaps ruin their lives? Is he not worried about that? I mean, I think that would be a big thing that he could fight for, the way, you know, Michael Vick has fought against dogfighting. And the second thing, where's his concern for Livestrong? I mean, this is the great shining point of his existence.
In defense of that, we might see that tonight.
I know,
because we do have part two. But you're right. They were two things that were strikingly absent. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I know that you made, you thought that one of the big points here, too, is that he said he wasn't lying about not doping when he came back to the game in 08. Let's take a look at some of that sound.
That's the only thing in that whole report that really upset me. I mean, obviously it upset me. But the accusation and the alleged proof that they say that I doped after my comeback is not true. The last time I crossed the line, that line, was 2005.
Your reaction to that?
Well, there were several times during the interview when you just said, Lance, tell the whole truth. He sometimes went back into denial and excuses. I mean, just as a regular person thinking, as an older athlete coming back to a sport like the Tour de France, you've spent over a decade doping and you're just going to come clean all of a sudden? I mean, that just didn't ring true. And that was, you know, I think a lot of people would shake their head and say, really? That doesn't sound right.
So the fact that it took him so long, I guess, because he denied so long, because he attacked so many people, are those the two things you think that are really going to prevent him from any sort of bounce back?
Well, that certainly is going to make the redemption very difficult. But, you know, he does have an opportunity, like I said, with Livestrong. This was something he started before he won any Tour de France, you know, and talking about his struggle, you know, with cancer and helping people with cancer. Unfortunately, you know, the rationale and what's been said is he's doing this because he wants to compete again, because he was so upset that they banned him from life, you know, from being, you know, doing triathlons, doing the Ironman, you know, that he's only out for himself, and that's the biggest problem. I think if he, at this point, he's got to turn over and say, I want to give back. I want to give back to the people with cancer that I can help. Forget about me. It's not about me anymore. Yet Lance seems all about Lance, and that's his biggest problem. He's got to let go of that and try to do something for others, for youth, for his kids, for the Livestrong people. If he does that, I think, people will, over time, find something redeemable about him.
Yeah, it took a long time for him to get here, I suppose. It's going to take a long time for him to even remotely start to get back. So thank you.
Yeah, and he looked in pain.
Susan, Susan, thank you so much. And we'll, of course, be watching that second interview tonight.
Right.
Stay close. We're back in a moment.